Welcome back everyone to the Working Class Revolt, and today I want to talk about some comments made by Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the Conservatives and now the leader of the official opposition. Now these comments she made at the beginning of the month while speaking at a fringe party event for the Conservatives in Birmingham, and it got the crowd in laughter. And actually I kind of agree with these comments, and I'm sure you will do too, but it's very outspoken for a politician of a mainstream party to make. And Kemi Badenoch said that 5 to 10% of all civil servants, that's 500,000 civil servants, so around 25 to 50,000 of those should be in prison. And she said that only 1 in 10 of those civil servants actually does a good job. Now, the comments that she referred to seem to be all based around leaking information from ministers' meetings. So that's when the Cabinet, who are appointed by the Prime Minister to be above every department, so you have an elected person at the top, and meeting, discussing things, spitballing ideas, bouncing off each other, that these civil servants then leaking them to opposition politicians who are not in government and also the newspapers. And it'd be interesting to see whether they got paid for those stories that they do. So Kemi Badenoch seems to point to that as her main reason she thinks they should be in prison. Now, as for the good civil servants, she says that when you're a cabinet minister, you're fighting to pick a handful of those civil servants that are good because they all get snapped up straight away. Now, I've got some experience with this. As an independent councillor in a big borough council, I can vouch for that. But I would actually say it's around 1 in 20 civil servants who we deal with our inquiries for residents, actually do a good job. So what happens is, if you're one of them good council officers, we call them in councils, they're still civil servants, all the councils and residents all bombard that one because you know you'll get an answer. And what's made this massively worse now is that the majority of them work from home still. I don't know why. It was meant to be temporary while COVID was on, but they've all stayed working at home. They choose their own hours. They don't answer the phone. So even their work colleagues who might be on a certain case that day, they run the day-to-days of the governments and the councils, can't even get hold of the teams. Now imagine that was a private company, it would be running to the ground, and that's what's happened in the government and the councils. But they borrow and borrow more money every year to just about keep themselves afloat. We saw last year Birmingham Council went bankrupt, the second biggest council in the country. Now Kemi Badenoch has always been known for being outspoken. She's been outspoken on issues like transgender issues, and now she seems very, very outspoken and seems to believe that shrinking the state, which was what Liz Truss put forward, will be the way forward. So I'm hoping that we see in a manifesto that she would like to, if she believes that 1 in 10 civil servants should go to prison, then obviously she should feel that 1 in 10 should lose the job. Cutting 10% of civil servants, in my opinion, would be a fantastic way to go. Look at the wages that civil servants are on. A box standard manager can be on £80,000 a year. A chief executive can be on £230,000 a year. So that means every director, assistant director will be upwards of £130,000, £140,000 a year. All taking massive pensions when they retire at 55. It's a cushy job. Then you bear in mind that they work from home, they choose their own hours. I think cutting 10% of them would be a fantastic way to go. But please let me know what you think. What do you think about Kemi's comments, that 10% of them should be in prison? I think the common notion by people is, especially when you look at departments like planning, that there definitely is big time corruption that could put you in jail, because everybody believes about the brown envelopes being passed. Everyone says it jokingly, but I think we all agree that there's an element of truth in it, something that you can't prove. So what do you think? Do you think that there is a lot of civil servants that should be in prison? And do you think, like I think, that we should cut the civil servant sector massively? And so I think 10% should be a starting point. And as well as cutting more civil servants, I think we need to replace a hell of a lot of civil servants. But thank you for watching, and please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.